I'm currently stood across the river from the assassination site of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in what is currently Bosnia and Herzegovina, but what was once Austro-Hungary.
Gavrilo Princip was born in 1894, and his assassination of Franz Ferdinand in 1914 is widely considered to be the start of World War I.
Gavrilo Princip was a Bosnian Serb nationalist who believed Bosnia should not be ruled by Austria-Hungary, and he had joined a group called the Young Bosnians, hoping to make a difference. In 1914, Princip and two other young Bosnians were recruited by a Serbian organisation called the Black Hand, training them in bomb throwing and marksmanship with an end goal of killing the Archduke, who was the heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne. The morning of the assassination, Princip and 5 others were positioned in several locations around Sarajevo, at spots where it was known the Archduke would be. However, when the time came, most were too scared to shoot. One attempted to throw a bomb into the car, but it bounced off the vehicle instead and exploded under another car. Princip wandered off, frustrated and hungry. However, fate intervened. Later that morning, Franz Ferdinand insisted on visiting the hospital to see the wounded. His driver took a wrong turn and stopped the car just across from the Latin Bridge. By sheer coincidence, Princip was standing nearby, waiting outside a sandwich shop. At barely 2 meters away, he drew his pistol and fired 2 shots, killing both Franz Ferdinand and his wife Sophie. Within hours, the couple was dead, and within weeks, Europe's great powers had mobilized for war. The assassination on this street corner sparked a chain of events that led to the First World War, costing millions of lives. But despite what most people know, Sarajevo's story doesn't end there, and this plaque commemorating this event is actually living proof of this. Over the past 110 years, this plaque has been changed 7 times, with 4 major iterations, beginning in 1914, just after the event had occurred, when a commemorative plaque stated that Franz Ferdinand had died a martyr's death at the hand of a murderer. As a country under Austro-Hungarian rule, the assassination of their heir to the throne was a massive heartbreak, and Princip was gravely condemned. A memorial was constructed amidst the First World War that could be seen from afar to remember the royal couple. However, just 4 short years later, as a result of losing the war, Austria-Hungary ceased to exist. Bosnia became a part of Yugoslavia, led by Tito, alongside several other countries, such as Serbia, Croatia, and Slovenia. They saw Gavrilo Princip as a hero and freedom fighter who brought liberty, releasing them from the Austro-Hungarian Empire. They built a new plaque, commemorating this moment, and specifically mentioning that it happened on St. Vitus's Day, a Serbian holiday representing Serbian struggle for freedom. This day was picked intentionally by the Black Hand as the day that they would be freed from Austria-Hungary. Unfortunately, in 1941, the Nazis forcibly entered Yugoslavia, and the plaque was removed and used for purposes of propaganda, before being presented to Hitler as a gift and war trophy. But luckily, after the war, the plaque was returned to Yugoslavia. However, the nation was now socialist, so the writing was revised, and new plaques plus bronze footprints were added, celebrating Princip as a fighter against tyranny. Despite being the longest standing, these markings were not the last, and were destroyed as part of the Siege of Sarajevo in 1992. As many in the city no longer saw him as a hero, but someone who had brought disaster. He was described as a Serbian terrorist, rather than a hero of Yugoslav unity. Princip was a Bosnian Serb nationalist, and it was Bosnian Serb nationalists who, in the 90s, kept Sarajevo under siege for over 3 years. However, this plaque was in the end destroyed as part of the war. In the early 2000s, a new plaque was constructed. This one is deliberately neutral. It doesn't glorify or condemn Princip. It simply records the fact that from this place, on June 28, 1914, he assassinated the heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne. In the modern day, the city is split in their opinion of Princip, and the new plaque very purposely avoids interpretation, as to not invite vandalism from either side. So when you stand there today, you're not just at the site where a gunshot set the world on fire and a teenager started a war. You are, unintentionally, standing at a site holding over 100 years of history, and most importantly, you're at a reminder that history itself is never fixed and changes depending on who is remembering it.